Houston finished up the regular season with the top offense in the country, and then coming into the bowl game, we didn't play our bowl game until January 6th, so we kind of got an advantage over them a little bit in knowing what we needed to have going into the game. You know, and we had it all calculated out. We needed 536 yards to retake that. We had number one offense in the country in 2007. It's kind of something that we were hanging our hat on, and those guys overtook us. Of course, they kicked our ass this year too. But so going into the bowl game, we had 536 yards. Well, if you got, I don't know if you guys watched our game or not. We got into the game and we kind of got up by 3 scores in the middle of the third quarter. And it was, I mean, the rain is just pouring down. And Coach Graham gets on the headsets and he says, all right, let's take the air out of the ball a little bit. We're up 3 scores now. And I said, Coach, I know you're not much for this, but we need about 90 yards here to be the number one offense in the country again this year. And he said, well, go get the yards and then take the ball. I'll take the air out of the ball. So we went ahead and got it done. But this is what I wanted to do to start off here is just kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of who we are. We have a lot of similar concepts. We may go about it in a different way than maybe some of the things you guys are doing. So I just want to give you a little bit of an idea about who we are. Our goal, when we first got to Tulsa in 2007, Coach Gus Malzahn and I were co-offensive coordinators there. We sat down in our first meeting with our kids and said we want to be the number one offense in the country, and I don't think there was one kid in the room that believed that we could do it. And we wind up doing that in 2007, and obviously, you have some success. Kids get a lot of confidence. We did it in 2007 with a 5,000-yard passer. We had 3 1,000-yard receivers and a 1,000-yard rusher. And then this year, in 2008, we had to do it a little bit differently. And what I would tell you is that I think the key to any offensive success is being able to mold what fits your talents. With the talents of your kids, molding your offensive system to what fits them. And we've definitely been able to do that. But if we had put it in a nutshell who we are, we're a 2-back run play action team. Now we do a lot of 1-back stuff too. Okay, but we all we're kind of 2-back based. But we run a lot of 1-back also. But we're a run play action team that's going to keep constant pressure on the defense and the defensive coaches by these 6 parameters. The 6 parameters that we put up there is all stuff that I spent about 10 years as a defensive coordinator prior to coaching offense. Played offensive line, got into college coaching on the defensive side of the ball, and then came back to offense back in about 2000, I think it was. But these are all things that you hate defending. Okay, obviously we're a no-huddle team. We want to physically and mentally wear people down. We want to have a balanced attack. This year, in 2008, we averaged 270 yards rushing a game and 301 yards passing a game. We're number 5 in the country in rushing the football, number 9 in the country in throwing. It's only the second offense in the history of college football to be able to go over 250 yards rushing a game and over 300 yards passing a game. The first was Southern Cal. So you got your Southern Cal shirt on right there. They did it in 2005. We're the second team to do that. We want to present misdirection in the run and pass game. Okay, real important part of our offense. Stretch the field vertically and horizontally, make them defend the width and the depth. Obviously, we're going to throw the book at them with our specials, which is our trick plays. We have a book of trick plays that we operate on. And what we do with those, just something for you guys to think about, is that we install it. And when we go into spring practice, and we go into fall camp, we install a trick play a day. And then we practice that play over and over and over and over and over until we call it. And then once we call it in a game, then we kind of put it back on the shelf. So we may go into a game with the ability to run 7 or 8 different tricks. Okay, and now we focus on some during the week, but that's something that's a really big part of our offense is our special, our fire alarms. What we do with our fire alarms, again, we're a no-huddle team, but we want to be able to control tempo. Okay, if you just go out there and operate at the same tempo every snap, that the defense can get into a rhythm of play calling also. You're going to force them to quicken up what they're doing, but if you just stay at that same tempo all the time, they can get into a rhythm. So what we try to do to throw off their rhythm a little bit is one of the ways we do that is with our fire alarms. What our fire alarm plays are is we'll come out, we'll get just a little sugar huddle next to the ball. We get our skill guys out, and then we come out of that huddle quick, get lined up as fast as we can, and we want to snap the ball as quick as possible. As soon as our guys get their hand in the dirt for a second, And we get set for a count, we're snapping the football. Now what do we do on those plays? And a lot of times our philosophy on those plays is to have some kind of full zone perimeter run, whether it be a speed sweep or a quick pitch play, something that, because you got to understand the defense is not going to be set. Okay, so we don't want to do something where we're trying to man block. We want full zone perimeter runs. And then we also do a lot of play action, full slide gap protection, and want to throw the ball down the field. Okay, so we get a lot of vertical passes out of the fire alarms. Okay, that's just a concept that we have. We go into every game with probably about 7 to 10 fire alarm plays that we can run during those games. And then the other thing, throw the book at us with a little Wildcat package, you know, that everybody's doing right now, where it's just that single wing football. Okay, we want to present the option a bunch of different ways. Which right today, what we're going to talk about is our gap game. I'll get into how one of the adjustments off the gap game is a power G option that we run. And then, you know, our thoughts about we want to have a physical hard edge mentality. We want to have great discipline. We're number one in our conference in fewest penalties. And then have great ball security, which is one of the areas we got to improve on. Okay, what I want to start talking about today in this first session here is about our gap run game. Okay, we have two basic run concepts. Okay, and as an O-line coach, you know, it's real important, and this is what and again, this kind of sounds like plenty talk, but it's really something that we believe in, is that I think the goal, if you want to really be good at running the football, this is the way we did it at West Virginia, the way we had done it at Clemson when we were there, and what we're doing at Tulsa now, is if you want to be really solid at running the football, you want to try to be multiple in your run game by changing your formations, changing your ball carriers, changing the action on the back end, but without changing things through your offensive line. Okay, keeping it as simple as possible for the guys up front. We want to keep it simple, not only from a standpoint of making things kind of easy on them as far as their ability to operate efficiently and effectively, but also because of our tempo. You know, we want to be able to go fast. So we try to keep things as simple as possible so we can also play with that tempo that we want. But this is one of our two base run concepts. We zone block. Okay, we run the inside and outside zone. And I know that you know, Tony told me that's something that Gunnar had talked to you guys about. So I want to focus on the gap schemes. So we have kind of three base gap schemes that we're going to talk about: our power, our counter, and then we run a little hand sweep or a buck sweep out of the shotgun, which is really was our top run play this year. I think we averaged, every time we snapped our buck sweep this year, we averaged a little under 12 yards of carry on it. So it's really a great play for us. But the first thing that we would put in is our power, okay? And this is nothing more, you know, it's a base power play. If we just go from the H-back to this little hip player, whatever you want to call it, you can get to this formation a variety of different ways. And what I'll show you as we get into our cuts, we may start out in a trip set and motion this guy in. Instead of running the little Utah or orbit motion and all that, we may motion the H-back in to get to his position to make his kick out block. Okay? So we'll change our formations and run this. We may run this and run a quarterback power off a little play fake. So there's some things that we'll do on the back end and change it up. But as far as our base power play, starting with the H-back, you know, obviously he's going to kick out that end. Okay, we want him to dig the end out, just like you were doing if you know, if it was a fullback coming out of the backfield and kicking out an end or kicking out an edge play. Okay, from the play side tackle, he is on a B-gap track. And that's all we tell him, and it will fit to any formation, any defensive front that you put up there, okay? Is that we want our tackle is going to be going on a B-gap track to the number 2 linebacker in the box. All right, to the second backer in the box. Now, if I had an odd stack defense up here, who's he going to track to? He's going to track to the Mike. Okay, if I put an odd defense up there, who's he going to track to? He's going to track to the backside backer. Okay, so he's on a B-gap track to the number 2 backer in the box. And he blocks whatever's across. Now, in this case right here, we got a 3 technique in there. Okay? And what I'm going to tell him on this particular play is I want him to take the 3 technique and make him the A-gap player. Okay? Because the play side guard is going to be on an A-gap track to the number 2 backer in the box. But I want, if I can make that down lineman, the A-gap player, Now I've got a better angle, my tackle's got a better angle to come off on that backside backer than the guard does. Okay? So we want that double team to work to the number 2 backer in the box versus the in front. Center's going to block back on the nose, and the key coaching point there is for him to aim high on the nose. Okay, aim high. If I've got a shade, which is kind of tough to block back on the shade, I still want it almost turns into a base block. So I want to aim into his high shoulder. If I'm blocking back to a one technique, I'm aiming to his high shoulder. If he goes up the field on me, I don't care. I don't want a lot of penetration, but I don't want him coming across my face and making a play across my face. Okay? If we happen to have a 3 technique backside, he's going to aim high on the 3 technique. All right? The backside tackle's on a pick and hinge. He'll set down the B gap, just secure the B gap, looking for any type of run throughs, that sort of stuff, and then he'll hinge. And all I want him to do on the hinge is he steps down the side, protects that B gap, is to hinge back and just get a hand on the shoulder of the backside end. Okay, just to force that guy up the field where he doesn't come screaming off the edge and make the play. All right. I'll talk about our backfield action here in a minute. But our running back, we line him up at 7 yards deep. Okay, his inside foot's going to be aligned on the outside foot of the guard. Okay, and his track is he wants to hug the double team. He wants to basically, he's going to be tracking right through the B gap, right off the guard's hip. But he wants to hug that double team. Okay, and then what we'll do something. A lot of times with this, we'll run this little orbit motion. Okay, we get the slot receiver, whatever you guys want to call him, the Z, we call him our 2-man. Okay, he'll come in motion as he gets to the alignment of the split end. He'll work back to a depth where he's even with the tailback. On the snap of the ball, he'll reverse his field, and then the quarterback and the slot receiver are going to carry out an option fake. Okay, and one of our answers to defensive adjustment is to actually pull the ball, or not even pull it really, but because it's just a token fake to the power, and run the power option, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Okay, so this is our base power play. Now, once we before I go to the next concept here, this is a great play. Does anybody have any questions right now on that? On how we go about it? Okay, pretty easy deal. All right. This is a great play versus field blitz, okay? Which we get a lot. This is all American blitz, right? The end is going to ping, or is going to long stick. The nose is going over the top, dropping the backside end, bringing the Sam Mike, okay? All American blitz, NSA blitz, whatever you want to call it, field blitz, okay? Here's how we handle this. This is a great adjustment to it. Is that our play side tackle versus field blitz, he'll make a call that's going to tell him that we're going to slow the blocking scheme down, we're going to change it up a little bit. He makes a call, we call it Momo. Okay? What Momo means, I got a man on me and a man outside me. So he'll make a Momo call. When he makes a Momo call, he's telling everybody to slow down. We want them to take that, we want the defensive lineman to be able to long stick it. Okay? Then the tackle's going to take that 5 technique and wash it. Right? The guard now is going to work to the number 2 backer in the box still. All right, the center, which is really key on the Momo, is that now instead of him working back to the 3 technique, he's anticipating that shade crossing his face. So he waits for the shade to cross and then he washes it. Okay, takes him where he wants to go. The pick and hinge on the backside will wind up hinging to the 3 technique. The H-back now is going to kick out the edge blitzer. And then the backside guard will wrap for the mic on the C screen. Okay? And now this has been a really great adjustment for us when teams are field blitzing. Been a big play for us, which I'll show you when we get into our cutups. All right, but it is a good play to check into field blitz. If we line up in this formation, we may have a check with each system, right? You know, everybody does that. It's another way to control your tempo. You get up to the line, you get a little leg kick, whatever, however you want to go through your procedure. And then if you're getting field blitz, this is a great check. Okay, it's a way to get a hat on a hat and increase the defense versus field blitz. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is often adjustment. One of the big ways that a team is going to make an emphasis to defend the power is by wrong arming that H-back. Okay? We're going to try to spill it. So what we'll do now is everybody's going to block the power. Nothing changes. Nothing's changed at all. except for the H-back and the pulling guard. Now the H-back, he wants him to wrong arm. So as he gets in him, he wants to take the same angle that he's going to block on the power. As that guy comes underneath the wrong arm, he just logs him. Okay, flips his hips on him and seals him inside. Our backside, our pulling guard now, instead of getting up and hugging the double team, he's going to take it around the log to block the first backer in the box. Okay? We bring the orbit motion as he reverses out now. The split end is going to block his cover down. All right, and then we're running option. This is just a token fake on the power, just a token fake on the power, and now we're coming out and we're pitching off the flat defender. Okay, so it's an answer to when you're getting the wrong arm on your power. It's an answer to it. We got another answer with our sweep. We'll get to that in a second. Now what I want to do is go through some cut-ups and just show you this stuff so you know it works, right? That's what everybody brings. I actually did bring my best stuff. Unlike Dana said, I didn't just bring my good plays. I only brought my good plays. Everybody's got crappy plays. Who wants to look at the crappy plays? I want to look at plays where a defense is getting gashed. Okay, we're just bringing Utah motion back again. And what we'll do, particularly when we get down here in the red zone, we like that power G option in the red zone. It's a good play, a good scoring play. On this, though, it's just a walk-in. Look at it from the back. Okay, the tackle's going B gap track to the number 2 backer in the box. B gap track number 2, he's on A gap track to number 2. Obviously, we've got an A gap defender right now, so we just want to close that thing down. We got to kick the end out. He'll wrap for the front side backer, and we got a great gash there. This is also a great tempo play. Okay, I guarantee you what happened right before this, and I have to look back on it. I will tell you what happened was probably we had a big play that got us down to the 5-yard line. It's first to go for the 5, and we tempoed their ass. We call it quick, as fast as we can. Now that play probably was snapped, with a 40-second play clock. Once they set the ball and all that stuff, we probably got that play snapped with about 27 seconds left on the clock. Same thing here. Now, here's what happens here. Okay, we got an odd stack front. Let me look at this from the back, and we'll come back and get it from the side. We got an odd stack front, so what's the tackle's rule? B got tracked to the number 2 backer in the box. Okay, now on his B got tracked, that end is going to cross his face. Okay, so the end crosses his face. Our H-back, who's working to the end, he actually works up to the Sam backer. Okay, kicks the Sam backer out. The problem here, the guy that's the problem, is the left guard gets too wide on his pull path. He's got to understand, versus an odd front, where's the double team at? The double team's in the A gap now. Okay? Because my guard and center are working to the backside backer. All right, so we're just washing everything down. The left guard gets a little too wide on his track. Right here, he ought to be coming right off this, hugging what we call a double team, and popping off on the mic now. Okay? He gets too wide. We still got a good crease and a good gash on him, but it would really help if our guard kept it tight. Okay, here's the other thing I would say to you, all right? I'm not worried about safeties. Okay, some guys will look at it, we can't get a hat on that guy. We don't push crack. Unless the guy's an absolute stud, we're not push cracking anybody. Because here's what I think about, I don't know how many of you guys, maybe I might offend somebody here, but so be it, is that this. There's 119 Division I A teams playing college football. There's 110 pussies playing free safety. Okay? There's about maybe 10 of them in the country you really got to worry about. Right? If you got a great free safety, you push crack, because the only pussy that's bigger than the free safety is a corner. They don't want to make any tackles. Okay? So we're going to force them. And here's the thing. Look at this here. That guy, yeah. Okay, good. Nice job, son. Give him a little ankle tackle. Okay? And here's the other thing, too, I'll tell you. In the first quarter, maybe the safety's kicked over and he comes up on first quarter and he gets our back right in the hole for a 3-yard gain. He drops him, he gets up, pumps his chest and all that shit. And in the fourth quarter, we're running through his ass. In this game right here against Tulane, our running back, and this wasn't even our starter, but our running back, we had 495 yards rushing against Tulane. Okay? Now, on the flip side of that, Why do we do that? Well, it's because they were playing everybody back, trying to keep everything inside and in front and all that stuff, and we just gashed their ass. Okay, on the flip side, when we played New Mexico about 6 weeks earlier, they were playing press man coverage, daring us to throw the football, all that stuff. We throw for 490 yards and beat them up pretty bad too. So, you know, the offense is versatile enough to be able to accommodate for all that stuff. But my point being is that the guy jumps up in the first quarter, starts pumping his chest. I got a little computer glitch here. You help me out?
I don't know.
I'm asking you now. Before you were like, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. Now it froze up on him. A guy jumps up pumping his chest in the first quarter. In the fourth quarter, we're going to test his manhood and find out if he really wants to make those plays or not.
So you did know.
All right, now here's an adjustment to field blitz again. Okay, we got the look we want, right? They're giving us a shade to the field. It was a high field blitz look through for this team, and then we check this play into it. Our tackle makes a Momo call. Okay, what he's saying when he's saying Momo is everybody slow down. I'm thinking that this guy's going to be coming. We think this guy's going to launch stick. He doesn't. The tackle slows it down though and winds up staying on him because he knows, hey, once I make the Momo call, I'm no longer track blocking it, I'm man blocking it. He anticipates that guy going inside, he does it, so he just wheels back out on him. Okay, but by making the call, it does tell our center to slow down and to pin the guy back. Because we know that the nose is going to go over the top, generally on the field blitz. We got 53, he's a hell of a player, he's a drop guy, but he's not used to playing linebacker, okay? He's used to being a great defensive end. So he's trying to make a play in space now. It's not his forte. All right? Again, on the Momo call, it makes our H-back now, blocking the edge pressure, our pulling guard looking for the C-scraper, and then our guard knows that he's on the A-gap track to the number 2 backer in the box. Okay, so it's a nice adjustment run to field blitz. Get another look at it here. Same deal. This time the end does long stick it, so we wash the end. We got the Momo, the end long sticks it, kick out the edge pressure, guards wrapping for the C-scraper, center slows it down instead of blocking back hard on the 3 technique, waits for the shade to cross him and then wash it. We know we're picking and hinging on the 3, and then the end, who's used to being an end, not being a linebacker, and makes a great play this time, but we want to gain 7 yards. Okay, so it's just a way to take a potential for a negative yardage play and turn it into a positive. One more look at it. Of course, our dumbass over here doesn't line up on the ball this time. We wind up losing a 16-yard gain. They say, well, it still went on the ball, which I don't know, whatever. You look at it from the back, it's the same deal. So the tackle slows down now, lets the end wash, or lets the end cross his face and washes him. We know that the 1 technique's coming back over the top of the center. He's waiting on him. Get on track, get the ball to safety. On the which could have been a negative yardage, but it'll turn into a positive. Okay, here's another way to get to it. Now, instead of running the Utah motion and all that stuff, now we're just running a little zip motion, bringing our H back into the box to block the power. Nothing changes for the guys up front. Okay, and that's what being multiple in your run game is having the ability to run the same plays out of different formations, different motions, different actions without changing the rules for the guys up front. Challenge the safeties. Let safeties make tackles. If your safety's the leading tackler at the end of the game, you probably win. Okay? Now we're going to run some quarterback powers. All right, first one again, it's a red zone play. It's got a little wildcat package. Right, we got a wide receiver in here, quarterback. Our quarterback's lined up outside out here, and just run the power off the speed sweep action. Same play up front. The only problem, or the difference that we have here is we're running this out of an unbalanced set. This is actually our tight end here. He's now going to pick and hinge, okay? Our left tackle's over here playing tight end, all right? He does a horseshit job of blocking down the C-gap. Lets it, he gets caught blocking on an edge instead of covering the guy up. Our pulling guard does a nice job of just making it right. Same play on that little wildcat package. Okay, obviously, we'll run the speed sweep off of this. We'll run a little reverse off of this, So there's a lot of things that we do out of this package that they've got to be prepared for. But our base play out of that set is running the power. This is a critical situation in this game. Minute 18 left, fourth quarter, we're up by 3. We got to kind of end the game now. This is a big play for us. Now instead of running out of that unbalanced set, we're just running out of the 10 personnel. Put our quarterback out here, bring our wide receiver into the quarterback, run the slot in motion, looking like speed sweep, and run the power. Okay, and then what's nice about it up front, the offensive line, all they know is we're running power. They just run their power block. Okay? Now, my big moose right here screws this up. He ought to be going B, got track to number 2. He works at the number 1 linebacker for some reason. But we still wind up spinning it. Nobody's blocking 45. He's a pretty good player. He should have probably made that tackle. 70 should have been blocking his ass, and then the guard should have been on 30. Would have been clean. Last look at the quarterback power, same thing now out of the same formation we just looked at. Just out of running off the speed sweep action. All right. Now, and again, in answer to the wrong arm, okay? And this is a big play we like to run down to the red zone. So what's been happening? We've been running the power, the wrong arm on our H-back. All right? So all we do now is we just run power option. We're going to log the wrong arm. Okay, so he steps, and I'd like him to step more towards the midline of that end to sell the kick out. Okay, but the guy's jumping so hard inside, it's an easy log. Okay, our guard now is going to get out and around the log to the first backer in the box. Okay, so he picks up the first backer in the box. Again, off the orbit motion, our split end is going to block the slot's cover now. And then we're going to pitch off the flat defender. So just having the threat of that helps clean things up. Because now, and again, we want to run option football to force them to play assignments on defense. We bring it around. Now, and one point of coaching point here on your guards, okay, is that if we're just running our base power, if these are my feet. Let's say I'm playing left guard right here. Okay, here's my feet. All right? We're not taking on our base power, and I'll go back and show you the cutups. We're not taking a pull like you've been taught to pull since you were in youth football, where we're throwing our elbow and taking our first step out. Because I don't want to open my hips up on the power. I want to try to square shoulder pull it. So what we do is, if this is my feet, I'm going to take a little drop step with my left foot, and then I'm going to shuffle pull. So I'll take a drop step, and then I'm going to shuffle to try to keep my shoulder square. Okay, on the power pull, because I've got to hug the double team. All right? Now, when we go to power option, now I got to get out and around that log. Now I'm going to throw my shoulder and open my hips up. Okay? So my footwork changes. There's 2 different pull paths from the power to the power option. All right? It's just a key little coaching point for you. Here, here we're taking that step. We're opening up our hips and getting out and around. Okay, and then the other play off of this, obviously, is the naked off the power. This is in a bowl game. It's something that we had worked on. We knew we were going to get man coverage down here. They're a big man team. So we just motion them across now. A little zip motion back across. Give them power action. And then sink the fullback out, CDH it back out the back door. The guy, you'll see what happens is the guy that's got him in coverage, when he flips, we flip him over, the 38 is going to come over with him. Okay, I got him man. Then he motions back, and then where's 38? He's running up the field. He lost. Okay, so it's just a way to hide your H-back. Is off the power, on the power naked. Everything else, everybody else is just blocking power. Okay, the difference, the only guy that's different is the backside tackle now doesn't pick and hinge. Okay, obviously we don't want him to pick and hinge and force the end into the quarterback. So we just tell the backside tackle, you block, everybody else is blocking power, backside tackle uses blocking B gap. And it just becomes a 1-2 read. Most of the time it's just a dump to the fullback. You know, we wouldn't call that if we're getting roll weak coverage. Okay, on the counter here. Once you teach the power, you've taught the counter to the play side guys. Okay? And here's the other thing that we can do, and this is what drives, I think, defensive coaches nuts. I know particularly our defensive staff can't understand how we can call our formations, okay? We call this formation right here twins, right? If that back is stacked here, it's twins. If the H-back is set weak, it's twins. We don't tell the backs where to line up, okay? Our backs line up play specific. So once we make a call, we may say twins right, and then we make the play call, that tells our backs where to line up. Because we don't have time, we're not sitting there going to signal in twins right, H left, all that crap. No, you go twins right, okay? And right here, if we go twins right and we went 91 counter, that just tells these guys where to line up. If we wanted them to stack out, we go twins right, stack it, 91 counter. Okay? Now we run the same play with an I stack. If we want to. Our backs know that based by our kind of the default setting for the backs is on counter, we're going to line up in split backs. If we want them to stack it, we'll tell them to stack it. But our defensive coaches can't understand it. If we put the H-backs weak, it's still twins. If we put the H-backs strong, it's twins. The H-backs alignment, the tailbacks alignment are all predicated on the play call. Okay, that way you can keep your tempo moving. All right, so my point being, I guess, on that is that the running back coaching is really critical as far as alignment goes. They need to understand, and a lot of it's common sense. Obviously, you know, if we're going to run the inside, we'll run the inside zone out of this, for instance, we'll run split zone out of this same look. But if we're running a split zone to the right, they're going to give the same alignment here. We don't have to tell them where to line. We just call the play, and they know where to line up. All right? So on the counter, though, everybody else is the same except for the guard and the H-back. Okay? Everybody else has got the same exact responsibility. Play side tackle on the counter is the E-gap track, number 2 back in the box. The play side guard is the A-gap track, and he's also working the number 2 backer in the box. Okay? The center blocks back, the backside tackle picks and hinges. It's the same exact scheme. Okay? The only thing that changes now is the guard on the counter is going to take a trap. Is going to take a trap technique as far as his pull path goes, because he's going to trap the end. So his footwork is different than if he's blocking the power. Okay, but it's also different than if he's blocking the power option. Okay, because of his angle. Now he doesn't want to get to where he's opening up to 90 degrees. He just wants to take a pull path where he's opening up 45 degrees so he can go dig the end out. Okay, so the guard is going to trap the end. Now the H-back's wrapping for the first backer in the box. They're basically just switching responsibilities to what they had on the power. Okay? So the teaching is very simple. Once you teach the power, all you got to do now is say, okay, look, guard, here's what you're going to do different. You're going to go trap the end, and the fullback's going to be the wrap guy for the first backer in the box. Okay? Here's what we tell our little orbit motion guy, just to give him a rule. If we run the counter, let's say we put this guy in a stack. Okay? If the back is to the orbit motion, he reverses out and runs option. Because that's what the quarterback's going to fake away from it. If the back is away from the motion, he runs reverse fake. Now the quarterback's hand or foot, the kind of the ball movement is here to here on the fake. Okay? as compared to if we're running, obviously if we're running off the stack, he opens and then carries out the option with the H-back. Or with the slot back. Does everybody understand that? So he has a rule. This Utah motion guy has a rule. Right? If I got stack, I reverse back. If they're split, I carry out the reverse. Okay, so again, it makes us multiple. Now, why would we want to carry out this reverse? It matters how these guys are going to stem to this motion. Sometimes when we get to this motion, they'll bring the safety down. We want to have somebody to control the flat defender weak if they're bringing the guy down. Okay, which I'll show you in the cuts how that happens. All right, now we'll also run this play with the quarterback, the counter. We'll run quarterback counter as well off of the speed sweep action. All right, we got split backs. So what's his rule? Carry out the reverse. Now, see how the reverse affects this play. They're bringing a quarter cat. He carries out the reverse. Look at all the defenders running to him. And all we're doing is block. And again, our guys up front, they don't know, are we carrying out option, are we carrying out, they don't care. All they know is that the counter was called. Okay? He's B-gap track to where? The number 2 backer in the box. Well, as he goes to the B-gap track, he's got a blitzer. Wash it. Right? We're going to kick out the end. He ends up the field. He's already kicked himself out. Our H-back now wraps. He should be wrapping for the play side backer. Well, as he wraps around, the play side backer's blitz B. He just picks up the backside guy on the straight. Gets in his way enough to get us out. Okay, here's one where the end crosses the tackle's face. B-gap track. Okay, he's tracking the number 2 backer in the box. He crosses my face. Wash him. Okay, the guard's on a pretty good path here. He just goes and traps the first backer in the box now. Now, what I like to do is I like to have the H-back recognize this, work off the guard's block, and pick up the backside backer. He gets caught outside. I want to put this on here just to show you this. The H-back's got to have the ability to adjust a little bit based on what's happening. It's a good physical run. Okay? You know, this guy had 2,700 yards rushing for us the last 2 years. Okay? After contact, he gains 5 yards. All right? What I try to tell the running backs when you want to run the football, if you got to sell your running backs on being physical after contact. So if they can average 3 yards after contact, they average 3 yards after contact. If you hand the ball to running back 300 times during the course of the season, he's going to wind up with 900 more yards rushing just by averaging 3 yards after contact. I don't want to see guys step out of bounds or, you know, I want to see them finishing runs. Okay? And that's a big thing. You know, they want to get their yards on stuff. Sometimes you got to earn them. Yard after contact. He winds up getting 5 there, 5 the hard way. Big point in the game. We just got the turnover. Came out the first down play, ran the counter. It's a great job. Look at the path of the guard. The path of the pulling guard. 45 degrees and dig him out. Not a great job by the H-back. He gets caught outside. You ought to stay inside the guard and clean it up. But nonetheless, our back gets downhill and into the crease. This is a downhill running play. Okay? Backs opposite, carry out the reverse. See what the reverse does to that linebacker? Like for him to get up and inside of this. Again, the end is kind of squeezing it off, so we're going to log the end. This is a tough defense to run this against, stacked defense, just because of the angle that the tackle has to the mic. He's trying to work to the mic, he gets collapsed down. It's a tough defense to run it against. That's why he has to bounce this thing, but I like him to just stick his foot in the ground and go challenge the guy. Anyway, he does finish the run. That's what we want. Okay, now, Same thing. We do this with the power, we do it with the counter. Right? We line up in trips, motion the H back in. And again, we may call this motion one way. Right? So sometimes he may have to motion all the way across, which I'll show you. Let's see, I got some cut-ups up where he motions across and comes back. It's all predicated on the play call as to where he motions to. He gets himself into position to make his block, okay? Gets himself into his alignment. Again, they try to wrong arm the trap, so we log it. I like for him to stay inside of this kick out. You know, the H-back does a pretty good job here. The tailback's got to stick his foot in the ground right here and hit that crease, get north and south. And I want him running sideways. Good job on the double team, working to the backside backer. Okay, they know they're both tracking the number 2 backer in the box. Snap it off. Third down and 1. Now he's going to motion all the way across now to get to where he needs to be to run the play. Now we're going to run it out of a stack eye look. Okay, so he motions all the way across the formation. But all we did right here is called trips left, zip, 91 counter. Okay? He knows now, he just knows it based on the play call, and he's got a motion all the way across. We don't call this motion, 5 different ways to get him to where he has to be. The backs just got to know where they have to be on the snap of the ball to execute their assignment. That's why I'm saying that the coaching that goes on back here, a lot of it's common sense, but once they understand the offense, it's pretty easy for them to get to where they need to be. Either whether they have to align there or motion there. Same thing, kick it out, get it up inside. There you go. Go challenge the safety. Not going to let a safety discourage us from running the football. Okay, quarterback counter. Now we got the same deal. The guys up front, they don't know if is it quarterback counter, is it a tailback counter, it doesn't matter to them. This is just off a little jab play fake. Get the ball to safety. All right. Same thing. This one spits out pretty good off the speed sweep action. They wrong arm it. We log it. Bring it around. There's nobody there. We averaged 270 yards rushing a game, and our leading rusher averaged about 105. So we're getting 165 yards rushing a game from all this other stuff. It all counts the same, though. Okay. On the buck sweep. Yeah, this is our number 1 yard gain per play that we had in our run game. All right? Sometimes we'll Utah motion this guy, sometimes we don't. Just, it matters. If we want to keep him out there to block the corner, we can do that. We're not worried about the corner, though. Okay? We want, if the corner makes a tackle, we're gaining yards. All right? We like to use this Utah motion because the next part of my talk is going to be about the play actions, and a lot of our play action pass is built off of this orbit motion. All right? Starting here with the H-back now. This is also an answer for the wrong arm. When they're wrong arming your power, okay, you can come back with the buck sweep. So he's going to block it just as if he's blocking the power option. He wants to get into that end. As the end goes to wrong arm him, he's going to flip his hips on him. If the end doesn't wrong arm him, if he goes to block him and the end gets up the field, he's got to stay on him. Okay, because it's a man concept for him, so he's got to block his ass. All right, tackle versus an even front. And this is the best front to run it against, just because you can get both of your guards out, which we'll talk about here as we go. But versus a 3 technique, the B-gap defender, the tackle's blocking the B-gap guy. Okay? Our split end, okay, this is probably from our personnel standpoint, This guy for us is our bigger, physical, or wide receiver. Guy's going to be able to go in there and mix it up with some linebackers and whatnot. Okay, and so he's going to go and he's going to crack the first backer in the box. All right? Center blocks back. Backside tackle picks and hinges just like he does in all our gap scheme stuff. Okay, the guards now. Our play side guard is going to block support. All right? Now, there's two ways that this will wind up happening. If it's man coverage, as he pulls out and he comes around the corner, if he sees that the support player, whether it's a sandbacker, if the strong safety's down, whatever it is, if he sees a support player sinking with that crack block, and he knows it's man coverage, he'll just wind up logging him. Okay? When he logs him, that back's going to hit the highway. He's going to take it outside and get out on the perimeter. All right? As he comes around, if the support player is just sitting there in the flat, playing like a zone coverage, okay, trying to keep his outside shoulder and arm free, then he's going to turn and he'll try to, we turn this almost into like the bottom of a question mark. He tries to kick the support player out. All right? The backside guard is going to pull, and he's looking for the backside backer coming over the top. Now, if he has any thought at all about that backside backer coming on a run through, then he'll pick him up. As soon as he pulls, let's say this backside backer tries to run through the front side A gap. As he pulls, he just blocks him. Or if the backside backer's on a B gap blitz, he doesn't pull that. He just blocks him on the line of scrimmage. Okay? But we want to get him out and around and pick up the backside backer. All right? And of course, we got the, if we do run the Utah motion, then we just fake the reverse off of this play. Backs opposite, fake the reverse. That's his rule. All right? The next thing is if we have an underfront. We run this versus an underfront. The tackle doesn't have a great angle to block the nose. Okay? Because it's not blocking down the B gap. We don't want to have to tell the tackle, hey, you got to go down there and block with one technique. Okay? So what we do is the front side guard now, he'll just say, I'm in. Makes an I'm in call. And we turn this now into a B gap track. We call it a deuce back. Deuce back where the tackle and guard now are working to the backside back. Okay? The tackle's on B gap track number 2, the guard's on A gap track number 2. We just turn it just like if they're blocking the power. All right? So we get the backside backer taken care of. So everything else is the same. But if he makes an I'm in call, now the backside guard knows that he's pulling for support with an I'm in call, okay? And we still crack the front side backer, but the backside guard now knows that he's got to pull for support with an underfront, where we can't get both guards pulling. All right. Again, this was our number 1 yards per play, average gain, whatever you want to call it there. This one right here, what does the tackle say? He's got a Momo, okay? So he's going to let that guy, and he'll wash him now. That puts the H back on the edge blitzer. Our guard has already made an I'm in call. Right? So he's thinking he's got to block who? Support. All right, he gets a little bit freaked out because of the blitzer and winds up, putting his hat on the blitzer also. But he's thinking, I got to block support. All right, we're going to crack the first backer in the box. And he knows he's hitting the highway. He thinks it's man coverage. Why is he thinking it's man coverage? Well, as the wideout goes in that Utah motion, the corner's running with him. That's pretty evident it's man. Hit the highway. Get out on the perimeter. All right, now the end doesn't run our H-back. He just hits the square in the face. Okay, so the H-back's still staying on him. We've already made an I'm in call, so we're working back to the number 2 backer in the box. Our guard thinks he's blocking support. All of a sudden, the support player turns into that end. So he just kind of tries to clean it up. And then our back makes a great run here, but just pretty to look at. All right, now, fake the reverse, hold the backside defender. This is a good look right here. Right now, what's he thinking? Zone coverage, right? He's thinking zone coverage. I want to get in and out and kick this dude out. So the back can stick his foot in the ground and get it, get north and south. Of course, that little bastard cuts us. You know what I tell them is this, it's probably not right, but right here, when they go to cut you, here's how you cure that. Okay, the O-line coaches will love this. All right, that guy comes to cut me. As soon as his head drops to cut me, I'm going to drop my head and I'm going to put it right in the back of his neck, right here. And he won't do it again. Because if he's going to cut you, he's got no regard right there for your safety. So, screw him. I'm trying not to cuss too much. You know what I'm saying, Tony? I know.
I never curse in these things.
I hear you, brother.
Fuckers,
Yeah.
something like that every now and then.
Well, if that guy drops his head, he's putting his own self at risk. So anytime a guy goes to cut you, right there, he drops down low, I'm putting my hat right in the back of his neck. And I guarantee you he won't do it anymore. All right, a tackle jacks up our H back here. I think he made a Momo call, and then the guy didn't come, and he didn't block it. Once that tackle makes a Momo call, that's man now. It's man, because he's telling the H back, hey man, you got him. So you can't change it up, and all of a sudden the guy doesn't cross your face, and you don't trap it. No. You make the call, you got to do it, because we don't block the end. We get kind of lucky here. All right, now, here's another way that we'll run this motion. Now, they're thinking it's Utah motion, but it's not. Okay, we're going to short motion this, and we're going to go crack it. Which is the way to hide the guy cracking. He cracks the first backer, the guard's out on support, kick the support player out. Finish your run. Great job here getting in and out on the support play. All right, pull, the guy's hanging in the flat, kick his ass out, and we tell the backs, when you see that guy's getting kicked out, get your foot in the ground and get north and south. Backside guard just gets around and gets enough of the piece of the backside backer to let the thing spit. Again, short motion, you're going to go crack off the short motion now. Let me get to a quarterback sweep here. Okay, this is off of a different formation now. Okay, now we're going to run the same thing, but instead of having an H-back in there, we put our tight end in. Okay, we knew based on a film study that we were going to get a 7 technique to the tight end side. We'll just tell the tight end, you're reaching. Reach the 7, get his ass in. We're going to short motion, crack the first backer in the box. Okay, our guard made an I'm in call. I'm in. So that puts the backside guard now pulling for support. We'll go one-on-one with the safety. You got a guy that's a cut tackler, is a pussy. That's what I'm saying. We're down here in the red zone. The safety's playing at 5 yards off the ball. Who cares? Who cares? Go make them. If he's making tackles, good for him. Chances are he's going to miss them. That's just the nature of that. See you next Tuesday right there. You guys know what that is? See you next Tuesday? Huh? Anybody know that? If you ever have an administrator come in your office or whatever, and they're not being real nice to you, just go, hey, see you next Tuesday. Right? See you next Tuesday. They go, see you next Tuesday. Yeah, see you next Tuesday. That's just secret code. That's why I've used that several times. What's next Tuesday? Just see you next Tuesday. Same thing. Short motion, crack the first backer in the box. Backside guards on the backside backer, okay? You get that quarterback sweep here. Oh, this, okay, here's another way to run it. Out of 10 personnel. Right? Now we go spread, and we short motion the guy back in to be the ball carrier now. Run the same play. All right, so just being multiple in your run game by changing the formation, changing the ball carrier, or not changing the play. Now we're going to motion the H back in, right, to log the end. When the end gets up the field, just ride them up. It's a great job by the guards, getting down on their backs. Okay. Quarterback sweep, right? We run that little wildcat deal. So now we run the motion across, and we run a little speed sweep back here. This is our quarterback actually coming in motion. He just fakes a little handoff to the quarterback, and we're running a quarterback sweep. But for our guys up front, all they're doing is blocking the hand sweep. Okay, it's just, again, it's a different way to run it by changing your formation, your ball carrier, changing the action of the play without changing anything for the guys up front. Same deal here. Motion it back, hit it. Same thing there. All right, you want to take 2 minutes, Tony?
Yeah, guys, take a 3.
And just like Dana was talking about earlier, we don't ride the play action as much as just give it a token fake to try to hold some underneath guys. Okay? It's not something that we're really riding. Now we do have some plays where we do that. Okay, but on these, and this is all going to be start off built off of the, whether you want to call it under dig or you guys call it shallow dig, or we just call it NCAA route. Okay, dig, drag, post concepts. Okay, and it's going to build off of this. All right. So, well, our thoughts on this. Let me go back to this real quick. Our thoughts on a dig, drag, post concepts is this: is that we read everything top down. That's how we read it out. We read everything top down. So in other words, as soon as we get through our play fake, our quarterback is going to find the safety to the post. And if the safety to the post is not running to cover the post, we're throwing a sucker up there. Every time. I say every time, but you'll see one later here and you say, oh, I thought you were going to throw it every time. He doesn't throw it, he should have. Okay, because we want to take shots. That's the one thing that, if you go back to the reason why I said who we are and all that stuff, we're a run play action team. And we want to make people defend the field both what? Horizontally and vertically. Okay? Our head football coach said that he set up some parameters for us. And one of the things that he said to us when we first got there was that he wants to see the ball thrown 40 yards down the field about 10 times a game. And that's one of the parameters he put on us. I said, hey, hell, we can do that. You know what I mean? We're not scared to take a shot. Okay? So we teach everything top-down read. And now, what I mean by that is that if the safety's not back, we're taking the post. Once the safety drops to the post, we're going to read the dig first to the unders. Okay, we're going to try to hit the dig first to the unders. All right, there's a variety of ways we get to this. Okay, here. Right now, where's his eyes looking? He's looking at the post side safety. The safety's down, we're throwing the post. We throw the post every time. Give our guy a chance to go up and make a play. Because here's the thing, here's the other thing about a vertical passing game. All right? We're big believers in the vertical game. Is that if we throw 10 of those, a game, if we bat 40%, we might have 28 points. Okay, by batting 40%. We might be able to get 28 points on the board just on those 4 plays. Or at least put ourselves in position to. And then the other 60%, you know what, you're probably going to get 1, you might even get 2 calls, right? You're going to get 1, maybe 2 of those PI calls also. Okay, so we want to throw the ball down the field. This particular, and I can spend a whole hour session talking about protection, I don't want to do that. This particular route package is built off our 6-man protection. I think, I was talking earlier with the guys, and it sounds very similar to what you guys do as far as this back is going to dual out, 1 to 2. We're going to slide away from the back, okay? I hope that everybody's on the same page with me with that. The only thing you don't want your back to do versus twist is run into your lineman. Okay, and that's easier said than done sometimes. The guy that's on the check down has got to be patient enough where if they're running a twist, we're talking about left tackle's oversetting us a little bit, but the guard's coming to help him and he knows the twist coming, and in the freaking back just jacks our guard. That can't happen. All right, that could have been devastating. Now, we got a 40 or 50-yard gain, but it could have been a sack or a turnover instead. All right, again, to the post side. Here's our post. To the post side, he's checking the safety. Now, why do you think we took this shot? Because that guy sucked. Okay? We knew it going in. Couldn't play. I hope none of you guys coached him. All right? But if we feel like we got a matchup, we're going to take it. Throw it up there. Again, we want to take those shots because you never know when those shots are going to turn into points. All right? And if we just bat, again, we can bat 40%, we take 10 a game, we can bat 40%, we may have 28 points. We like the match up there. Okay, now, on this one, to the post side, what's happening? The safeties are bailing out of there. So what are we going to work? We're going to work the dig to the under. Okay? Work the dig to the unders. Just high-low the pit now. It's an easy read. Once the safeties are back and the post eliminated, our quarterbacks are reading dig to under. We don't read it down up. We read it top down. Again, that's just our philosophy on throwing the ball vertically down the field. Okay, now, remember how we just got done running the hand sweep? What was one of the ways we ran the hand sweep? We short motion the guy to crack. Okay, so now we're going to give him the same look. We're going to short motion, but now he's going to be on the drag. The dig's in behind, post over the top. Same concept. If the safety's not back, we're going to throw the deep ball. If the safety drops back, like in this case right here, the safety gets back on the post, we're going to work the dig. Okay, we short motion to it. Our number one run play out of this alignment right here is our hand sweep. Okay? So we short motion to it, give it the same look. This is our 6-man, half slide, half man protection. The back's working on the check down. And that's the other too. You know, you're never wrong if your quarterback winds up taking the, you know, if we miss a vertical shot, are we going to talk to him about it? Yeah. Okay? If we miss a dig, are we going to say, hey, you probably could have thrown a dig here? Yes. But as long as, if he takes the check down and you gain yards, I mean, move the sticks, do what you got to do. Okay? We want him to read it top down. But it's just like a back. Here's something that we have rules on how we run our zone and all that stuff, how we read our zones out and all that. If the back makes a misread and gains 5 yards, I'm going to call him over and say, hey, son, look, you probably should have banged that. You probably should have bounced that. Okay? If he misses a read and gets tackled for a loss, he's going to get his ass ripped. Okay? But if he gains yards, I'm going to be a little bit nicer to him. You know what I mean? If your guy makes a mistake and it winds up positive yards, I mean, sometimes it's football. Okay? But here, you see the safety's back. So now we're going to work. We're going to work the dig. We're going to work the high-low to the dig. Again, this is a little token fake. We want to be 3 in a hitch and throw. Little token fake, 1, 2, 3, hitch it up, make the throw. That's our timing on that. The only time, if he takes 2 hitches, he ought to be throwing a check down. If he takes 2, if he wants to let it go, he may go 1, 2, 3, hitch and throw the deep one. He may go 1, 2, 3, hitch and then work the dig, because by his 3rd step, he ought to know what that safety's doing. If he goes 1, 2, 3, hitch, and can't make a decision, take the check down. Okay, look where the safety is. To the post side, the safety's back. Now I know right now, the safety's back. He knows before the ball snap, the safety's going to be back. So what's he going to work? He's going to work the dig to the under. So it's just our philosophy of reading everything top down. Safety's bailing back, he knows it right now. Now work the dig to the under. All right, this one here, I believe we get, we got to work in the pocket a little bit here. Okay, now we're running off the Utah motion, right? So the short motion, we just run the Utah motion. Well, where's the drag come from? It comes from out of the backfield now. We're still getting to the same spot. Okay, but we're not running across. He's just running this check down out here now. Okay? Where's the safeties at? The safety's dropping big time. He has to work the pocket a little bit, get a little bit of pressure. The dig keeps coming, find the dig. This is a hell of a throw. That's why this guy's playing in the NFL now. Work your feet. Again, short motion. Now watch this. All right, right now, here's your drag, right? Here's the drag. Instead of motioning and coming across, he's going to come off the Utah motion, fake the reverse and go. Right now, the quarterback says, oh shit. All right? He's in trouble. So what does he do? Go to the check down. Just get it out of there. You can always take the check downs. When in doubt, take the check down. Okay, do we want to throw it vertically? Absolutely. But things aren't always going to be perfect. We're not always going to have perfect protection. Sometimes the defense is going to get pressure. Okay, right there, he's going, uh-oh. Throw the check down. So we turn a negative yardage play into about a 4-yard gain, 4 or 5 yard gain. You're ready to move the sticks. Okay, now, this one is going to be a play action. All right, off the same motion. You got the little Utah motion. The back's away. So what's he going to do? He's going to fake the reverse. So everything looks the same. Okay, he becomes a check down to the flat. Now what we're doing is, if we get the shot, it's just a flood concept, a weak side flood concept. If we can take the shot, if he's got the shot, we'll take it. Okay? If they run over the top of the vertical, now we just work the high-low to the climb route. Okay? His aiming point, we want to give him about 14 to 16 yards over there on the numbers. Okay? He may have to work his way through. May have to go over the top of the linebacker one time, come under him the next time. Whatever. Just get the easiest release and get across 14 to 16 yards depth on the numbers. Okay, what he's thinking after the play action, again, you know, we run the short motion. This is our number one play is the hand sweep. We give a little bit of a token fake, to the reverse. He's thinking shot. The shot's covered. Now just working the high-low. If he had taken the check down here, he wouldn't have been wrong. You see what I mean? He would not have been wrong. Our quarterbacks have a lot of confidence in this route package, in this flood package. Okay, and again, it's built in off of our gap game. Play action off the gap game. All right, here's the situation here. We got right before the half, second quarter, minute 27 left. This is a great opening play for a 2-minute drill. It's a safe concept. You get, plus you're attacking the perimeter, where if you get it, you catch the ball, you can get out of bounds. 3 and a hitch and throw. Throw the climb, about 16 yards. Right on the sidelines, get what you can, step out of bounds. They didn't step out, you're punishing the guy trying to tackle good. Good for him. But again, his first thought, as he comes out of this, he's looking at the safeties. Are the safeties deep? Yeah, now I'm going to work the high-low. And I can always take the check down. Okay, now we just run them across on those. Instead of running the orbit motion, we run them on speed motion across. Is the shot there? We like the matchup. Take the shot. He's got it. He actually underthrows this. If he throws it out there, it's going to be 6. He underthrows it a little bit. Okay, so it's top-down read. Right here, if he would have taken the check down, he would not have been wrong. This guy starts nosing around. That's the guy he's got to believe. He's got, again, our quarterback's got a lot of confidence in this throw. Safeties are back. They're over the top of the post. Just work the high, low, and the flat. Okay, we're going to get this one to a different motion now. What we did is, you'll see it from the back end, but we shifted to this alignment. We were in straight 20 personnel. We shifted over to this alignment. Now we motion like speed sweep and just run the same concept off the slide protection. We're full slide protecting that, max protected, so we feel like we should have time to throw it, read it out, right? They're over the top of the post. Obviously, they're underneath the climb route. Just take the check down. Okay, now we're going to go unbalanced. We'll run the same concept. Okay, but this time we're going to add a tight end in as an extra crosser to carry the safety. All right, this guy is really not an option. All he's supposed to do, we got to tell him sometimes to say, you're not running this route. That guy's name is Jake Collins. You're not running this route for Jake Collins. You're running this route for the Tulsa Hurricane. Okay? You're not an option here. Just get that safety and carry the safety with you. Okay, but what does it become? It's the same deal. This safety is getting back over the top of the post. That's eliminated. Now we just work the high-low. Well, hell, there's nobody to high-low off of because we cleared them out of there. And this would be a play that we talked about earlier as a fire alarm play for us. Okay, we come out of the huddle. We get lined up as quick as possible. We're in an unbalanced set. Okay, our tackle's over. Tight ends backside. Bring him in short motion. We full slide protected. Okay, we full slide protected. And then just run the same route concept. So it hadn't changed anything for the quarterback. We just changed our formation, changed the way we get to the same route. Okay, now we want to run, we put our formation into the boundary, and we're going to get to the same concept. Okay, we're going to get to the same concept, but instead of slide protecting this one, we're going to man protect it. Our check down to the flat now will be our back out. All right? If they brought both duels, that's your hot throw. Okay, in man protection, obviously we want to have our hot throw, and if they bring both duels up the front side, we throw a hot to the first back out. Okay, now our slot, not our slot receiver, but our split end becomes the vertical route, and now we're running our X across on the crossing, on the climb. So now we're running the same route concept, but running with the formation in the boundary. Okay? Here comes the post. He's going to clear everything out. Climb route's coming from the weak side of the formation now instead of coming from the formation strength. If they bring both duels, we got a hot throw in the flat right now, and it just becomes the same read for the quarterback. Are they over the top of the post? Yes. And then we're going to high-low the flat defender from the check down to the climb. And all that's off of that orbit motion, the Utah motion stuff that we do. This looks right here, this could be a hand sweep, right? This could be a counter. This could be power force. Could we run split back power? All that stuff. Could be a reverse. We do a lot of things off of this. Now this is one right here where he probably could have taken the post. Right? He could have taken the shot here. And looking back on it, this is one of those ones where he said he probably should have taken the shot. Right? Throw it up there. Give him a chance to go get it. Obviously the climb route's wide open, so he just dumps it into the climb. But when we have, here's the thing. Were we pissed off that? No, we gained 30 yards, okay? But how many times in a game do you have these type of opportunities? Okay? How many times in a game do you have an opportunity to throw a 60-yard touchdown pass? There's not been, maybe what, 4 or 5? Maybe, if you're lucky. So you don't want to miss one. That's why we want to attack everything vertically. Make them defend the depth of the field. Not only the width, but the depth. We got a little blitz coming here. Good job picking up the blitz. Step it up. Throw the crosser. The wideout does a great job here of sitting down and feeling the corner. He doesn't just run to get blown up. Okay? He feels the corner in there and sits down in the hole. Safety's over the top. Work the dig. Okay? Quarterback's off his timing, right? 1, 2, 3, hitch, hitch, hitch. Uh-oh. Throw the check down. You can always take those check downs out in the flat. Just get it out and let him go to work. Make a tackle in space. Return to play that could have been a negative yard play to a 4-yard gain. That's once the quarterback's timing breaks down. It's how important. All this stuff's on timing too, right? He's thinking 1, 2, 3, hitch, hitch. Man, I'm starting, boom, dump it out to the flat. Once he starts getting a little bit wound up in his timing, he starts getting a little bit off kilter in his timing, we want to dump it out to the flat. Safety's over the top of the post, there comes the climb. Okay, here's some throwbacks, and this will be off of our, this is more off our outside zone, okay? Just a little extra for you here. All right? We run our #1 play out of this formation, all right, is the outside zone weak, okay? And then we also, we run some nakeds and stuff out here. We got our bubble out into the field and all that stuff. But our #1 play is the outside zone weak. Now, when we pull our guard out here, normally we're working some kind of high-low out here to the flat. So we roll it out. We want to go 2 for 1 with our X. Okay, we think he's going to carry the corner, and we want him to try to take the safety with him. Sometimes you look at, when you're looking at your film, and you run your nakeds, okay, always check to see if they're taking care of the, we call the oh shit guy. Okay, and the reason we call the oh shit guy is because right about here, the deep coordinator is going, oh shit. All right, so we want to make sure if they're handling the oh shit guy, okay? BYU is a very disciplined team, all right? So we kind of figured that one of these two guys was going to handle it, right? Why do we still run it? Because we like the matchup now. Now we got one of our tailbacks matched up on our outside linebacker. That's in our favor. Okay, so it's just a way to throw it back across the field off the outside zone action weak. We didn't talk too much about this one, is that all right?
Yeah.
We good? Okay, here's another way. Again, showing it's the same play for us. It's the same play, but what do? We're going to change the formation. We're going to motion and change all that stuff just to give a different look. We run the naked. All right, we want him to carry the corner, carry the safety if he can. But these guys are undisciplined, so we want to throw it back to the oh shit guy. Like I said, right now, that's what the coordinator's saying. This one's a climb round. Now this last one here, this is same concept coming back. We run a little boot protection with it. Tight end freaks my guard out. That's why the quarterback gets stroked here. Because he got freaked out by the C-gap guy. But again, we run the throwback. Always check, out of any of your naked stuff, check to make sure that they are defending that guy coming out of the backfield for the throwback stuff. All right. Does anybody have any questions on anything? I appreciate your attention. I'm going to be around here for a while. If anybody wants to holler at me, whatever, I've got some, some other cut-ups and stuff of our zone stuff. If you want to talk or whatever, just come find me, and I'll be here for a while. I appreciate you guys having me. I really thank you for having me here.
Guys, 10 minutes, Coach.